On January 25th, as part of the Living Local Women Workshop series that is funded by a grant from Northwest Minnesota Foundation Women's Fund, I had the joy of attending a soap making workshop led by Denise Nelson, a bubbly, happy soap maker. This is soap that uses lye, and the first thing you want to do is mix it up.
You will probably buy lye in containers like this. It is a drain cleaner. You can find it at different hardware stores. The recipe calls for 12 ounces of powdered lye. So we're going to use our scale here and a peanut butter container. As you can see, I'm using my regular hand and I'm just putting in 14 ounces.
Wow. 14 ounces.
12 ounces, sorry.
Connie is not wearing gloves. Now, if she does get the lye on her skin, it feels a little bit like stinging nettles, she said. And you can put lemon juice on it to take the sting away, but your skin's not going to fall off.
And then because the lye gets really hot, I like to have cold water to cool it off. So you also need 32 ounces of water. The quart jar has a mark. Okay. I use tap water. I usually use the softened water so that I don't get a lot of ick in it. Most people will say to use distilled water, but I use my tap water.
Denise always wears a mask and often does this mixing by a window. When you add the water, the lye heats up right away, and this is definite when you don't want to get any on your skin.
Goat's milk soap, I freeze the 32 ounces in a gallon Ziploc bag. I freeze it flat so I can make it into chunks.
After mixing the lye with water, she got out some goat's milk to do a demo on making goat's milk soap.
There are 3 ways to make goat's milk soap. This is the way that I do it. That's using the 32 ounces of goat's milk.
Goat's milk needs ice for extra cooling.
The goat's milk obviously has more fat. So what we're doing is we are super fatting our soap. That makes it smooth and nice, and that's why most people like goat's milk soap, is it is super fat. Sometimes when you cut the goat's milk soap, it feels a little greasy, and that's okay. When it dries, it will absorb that grease and it'll just make really nice soap.
She puts the goat's milk into the ice water.
Pour the powdered lye on top of the goat's milk.
So the lye is melting the goat's milk like that in a thing of ice water?
Yes. And that's why I use ice water, because it turns an orange color and it curdles if you don't keep it cool.
This is a gradual process of Denise adding the lye and gently stirring. The goat's milk is melting in the lye. This is the lye and water only. The bucket was warm.
This is a cold process. Even though we use heat, we are only using heat to melt the ingredients. We are not heating the soap heats itself.
Time to add the fats, coconut oil and palm oil.
Coconut oil makes lots of bubbles, it's fun. I like the palm oil because I like how it feels. The tallow makes for a harder soap.
Denise mentioned that this recipe is so old it goes back to when people liked to use Crisco to make the soap. But if you want to these days, you can use lard.
But what I do when I am weighing fat, I take my pan, and it needs to be stainless steel. It cannot be aluminum. Aluminum and lye do not mix.
She puts the pan on the scale, zeroes it out, and puts 31 ounces of solid fat in. In all 3 pans, she puts the coconut oil, and then she goes back over and adds the palm oil, 24 ounces into each pan. While the fats are melting, we jump ahead 24 hours to see soap that's been sitting in handmade molds. This is what the soap will look like when we're finished today, and where our free samples are going to be coming from. Hooray! Plus, look at this yummy muffin I'm eating. Lemon cake, too. We get good treats.
Blueberries! Just regular old blueberries.
Denise is ready to start mixing the soap together. She takes the melted fat and pours in 34 ounces of olive oil. Yeah, olive oil. And then adds blueberries. And she adds some blue dye to make the soap blueberry blue. Then she takes the lye from the water bath and pours that in very carefully. Don't want to spill this or get it on your skin. Denise takes a submersion blender and blends it all together. Any tools, things like the pans, the submersion blender, spoons, all that are used for soap making must always be used for soap making and not used for food again in the future. She boosts the aroma of the soap with blueberry scent. When the blueberry soap is finished, she pours it into the mold. See, it's sitting in plastic wrap and has plastic wrap laid over it to really protect it from air bubbles and to get a smooth surface on it. These are the soaps that she made yesterday that are the same we're making today. Blueberry on the far end. Middle one I can't recall, and closest to me is the goat's milk. Then she takes the soap and she puts it in a cooler, actually to delay its cooling to keep it warm, and then she'll wrap it with blankets and tuck it away like a baby. For the sake of time, we're going to go and skip through the second soap batch. It did have some herbs in it and some added scent. We've moved ahead to the goat's milk batch, the super fatty soap. You were going to bring what?
A cape. Super fatty!
Oh, got it.
This is my favorite scent. Purely herbal. It's heavenly. I should have had a witch's hat.
The immersion blender really speeds up this process.
Now, really fast, you guys are going to have to come up here and see it. You can see that when I make a shape, it maintains the shape. That's trace. See? I can dribble it over, and it's a little thick right now.
Okay. Goat's milk soap sets up real fast, so she had to be speedy. If this was oatmeal soap, same thing. All the freshly poured soap was put away like a baby under the blankies. Set your eyes on these soap cutting tools. The scary looking blade was not very sharp. Denise uses it just to mark the bars of soap, to measure it out. The soap needs to set up for about 24 hours, so the bars of soap that we cut in the workshop were soaps that she had made the day before. And guess what? We were so lucky, we each got to go home with 3 different kinds of homemade soap. Smells good. This is the blueberry soap. Not very blue, is it? These are the 3 bars of soap I went home with. I put them away because they need to harden for a couple of weeks, maybe even 3 weeks, and then they're good to go. And I've got to tell you, they smell heavenly. Here you can take another gander of the recipe and pause and take notes if you'd like. Love all life around you. Be inspired. Be grateful. Birth joy. And take the time to bathe with homemade soap. This has been another Oopsie Annie video. Until next time, bye-bye.